my name is Cynthia. Welcome to Apollo School Online. This is a drawing that we're gonna do for this class. Are you ready? Are you going to prepare your tools? And let's see what tools we're gonna need for today. Alright, today we're gonna use the pencil crayon to do the work. So let's see what media that we need to use. Alright, first of all, we talk about the papers. So we need to use the sketch paper. Alright, so you have to check your book, the drawing papers. Are they written on the cover with sketchbook? Alright, if you have those, that is the good one. Alright, you might using this one, mixed media. So this paper that we can use for dry media like sketch, like pencil crayon, and also can use for watercolor. Alright, so if you have this, that will be great as well. Alright, so sketchbook or mixed media. If you don't have any one of them, you can use the printing paper. Alright, printing paper is work for the dry media as well. Alright, sketchbook, mixed media papers, or the printing paper. And of course, we need to use a pencil to do the work, right? A pencils, a nice erasers, and the sharpener. Alright? I'm sure you have those. And especially I want to describe about the tracing markers. Alright? I'm looking for two different sizes. One is the 5 points markers. Looks like the big triangle on the top. It shows a thick line on the paper. And the other one is the ultra 5 points marker. It looks like the needle is very small and pointed. It will show a thin lines on the paper. Alright, so I need these two tracing markers. 5 points, ultra 5 points. So what if you don't have the needle marker, the ultra 5 points? You can use the pencil crayon, find the black one, okay, to do the tracing. It will look like almost like the same. Alright? Alright, so make sure you have the right papers, the drawing tools, and the tracing markers. Okay, so now we can start to do our work. Alright, so today we're gonna do the pencil crayons drawing, alright, like the small testing. So this is the two objects that we're gonna do for today. It kind of like the light sketch. We're looking for something real and transform the pictures, transform the objects into the pictures. Alright, so make sure you have your pencils and erasers. Alright, so let's see. Before we start to do the drawing, we are not going to start to do the shapes and the detail. Alright, we start with the layout. Everything will look like the circle and the boxes. Alright, so let's see. We have to put the layout to see how big and where are those cups on my paper. Alright, so first of all, I want my plates like this big. So I'm gonna do a box. Alright, it's about this big. I do it very, very light because I know I might make the mistake, so I can erase it. And after we finish the shape, we have to erase the outlines for the layout. Okay, layout just helping us to find the size and the place. Alright, and my cup's gonna be right here, about somewhere here. A box, very light as well. And I have one more cups here. I have a plate, a cups, and one more right here. Very close to my place, but about a finger space, right? About a finger space. That's the handle. Alright, so let's check my drawing. I don't have my cups or the place looks too small on my paper, so I don't have that much white space left. Right? I have only a little bit, so I have my layout looks great. Okay? Then, I place my cups and the place right at the center. Not close to the left or right, up or bottom. They are right at the middle. Alright, so we're done with the layout. That's the layout. It's very light and bright. Okay, so now we can start with the shape. Let's start with the left ones first. so my hand's not going to smash on my right one. Okay, so let's see the cup. Which one is bigger, the plates or the cup? The plate has to look a little bit bigger, so we start with something big. So it will look like the circle, but because the angle, it looks like a little bit oval, not the perfectly circle. So it will look like that. We have to do it inside the box. Very light, because we might make the mistake. We need to fix it about here. It looks like that. I didn't do it right at once. I try a couple of times. All right, so let me see. It looks like the same, similar. All right, a big round circle. All right, so that's my first one, the plate. So we got the shape, the oval shape. All right, and let's see the cup. We have the round on the top, the opening. So where is it? From the picture, it looks like it over the plate, right? Even the actual on the plate. But from my perspective, it looks like it's outside the plate. Where is it supposed to be? So I give myself a dot. It's about here and there. Outside a little bit. Inside here, I give myself the dot. So I do the oval. And let's see. I think the oval has to be a little bit wider. So let me fix this a little bit. Remove the one that I don't need it, so I don't confuse. Right? So I have my openings of the cup, the circle, and the plate. Two shapes. And they're on the right one. The small oval is over the plate from the perspective, from my perspective. Okay? Now we have to find the line of this one. The body of the cup. You have to go like these directions until here only. And the other side. Alright, don't worry about the handle. That will be the detail. We are not doing that right now. Okay? And it's about here. It's about here. A curve at the bottom. Okay? So I have to fix a little bit. I want to make sure the right and left looks like the same. Small difference will make the huge difference from the joints. Alright? Okay, so we got the shapes on the left hand side. Alright, then let's see the right one. Same thing, we want to start with the big one. Let's see the body first. It's about here. Straight, like shrinkage. The top is wider, the bottom is smaller, but slightly. They are not that crazy, just slightly smaller. And the base looks like a little bit curved. From my perspective, it looks like a little bit curved, but just a little bit, not too crazy. All right, I can see the opening on the top a little bit. So I give myself a dot, so I know I'm not going to make them too big. We have to fix a little bit if it doesn't look right. All right, and the handles a little bit lower. right? So that's my shapes. So now before we move on to do the detail, you have to double check the shape is correct, so you can remove the outline. Remember the boxes that we did? Try to erase them to keep your paper looks clean. All right, if you want to trace with the markers at the end, then you can remove basically remove the big parts. You don't have to make them look too clean, because we're gonna erase it even more after you've done the tracing. But if you don't want to do the tracing, then you better to clean them up at this step. Alright, so now I'm gonna give you a minute to check out the shape before we move on to do the detail. Okay, so we done the shapes, right? So we can see something, but they're not detailing. What do I mean by detail? Okay, not the graphics on the cups, okay? You can do any graphics you like. For example, the thickness of the cup. I'm not doing it. It looks like the marshmallow. And I also missing the handle. And the thickness of the plates, right? Those are the details that we're supposed to include on our joints. All right, so now we start to do the details step by step. Let's do the thickness first. This easy one. Double rings. Make sure they are the equal size. Alright, I do the detail and erasing at the same time to keep my paper looks clean. Alright, and I can see a little bit base inside the cup, but they are white, so they are not that clear. Where is it, the base? It's about here, very small. You will see a little bit base inside the cup. Alright, and my handle from my perspective is from here, not touching the top to the bottom here. So it will look like that. A little bit curved. That's different than the one we do on the side, on the right. Okay. This we did a little bit tricky angle. The handle, the base gonna be a little bit skinnier. And same thing, the handle has a thickness. And because the handle is twirling, so we can see the inside parts. We can see the inside parts. So now I realize my handle is too short, right? It doesn't look right. So I have to erase it and redo it. So you have to check it all the time. Check the side. What I have to do is a little bit more. See, I only have a little bit space left because you only have a little bit space left from the perspective. So every time we have to check the place, the size. Second, the thickness of the handle. Then the inside part. Alright, now it looks better. Alright, the thickness of the plate. I only see the side, the right hand side a little bit. I didn't see anything on the left because my perspective, my angle, I didn't see it. So I will only do the double line on the right. The right hand side corner. And very thin, it's not a thick plate. So I'm not making it look like a panel. Alright, and I also see the thickness on the right hand side cup, but only the front one. I didn't see another side, so I only do something like letter C at the below. I'm confusing on the left because I have too much light there. So I have to be clear light, only 2 lights. Same thing right here, only 2 lights. Alright, so I'm done with the detail of the shapes. So now it's your time to start to decorate the plates, the cups, or something around. Your choice. Feel free, if you want to do the tracing, you can do the tracing right now if you're done the decoration and the background. Alright, for who doesn't want to do the tracing, make sure you don't have the extra pencil line. You have to clean up all the messy stuff. Alright, so are you gonna have about 3 to 5 minutes to finish the tracing and clean up the pencil line that you don't need. Alright, Alright, so when our outlines are ready, you can grab your pencil crayon, okay? So before we start to do the color, we have to imagine that's just a sketch. So we have to add in the shadow so we can apply the color we want, okay? So I want you to grab the gray colors. Doesn't matter is from light gray or dark gray, warm gray or cool gray, just the gray color you want to show. So we can start to add in the shadow before we start to do the color that we want. Alright, so let me set it down to place my stuff. Alright, you might need to sharpen it all the time because you need to keep the pencil look sharp and pointed so we can color somewhere very small. Alright, so the gray colors, let's see. Inside the cup, we see the shadow, right? So let's start with the shadowing. Alright, dark, medium, light. Remember the color value, and the top is brighter, so I don't color anything. I only add in the shadow right at the base of the cup, inside the cups. Alright, be careful, be patient. It was just like the pencil sketch for now, but after we're gonna start to add in the colors. A little bit here from my perspective, but very light, not too dark. Alright, so make sure you are using the gray color, not the black color. The black color is too much, too dark. Alright, and I know my cup is pink. It's not really see the shadow on the cup, but actually on the side we have a little bit shadow. Let's see the white one here. We have a little bit shadowing on the side of the cup. So we are doing it right now, here. But very little, not too much. Same thing here. Right, left, need to have the shadow. Alright, and on the plate, I have the shadow right here as well. But little, very little. On the other side, very little, very light, not too dark. So we will have the shadow inside the cups, on the side of the cup, and on the right hand side, the plate. That's the shadow from the cup. Alright, and the handle inside here, a little bit. Okay, so we done the shadow on the right hand side. So same thing, imagine I have the blueberry, I have the shadow right under it. Under the plate, I almost forgot. We have a little bit shadow under the plate, but very little. Alright, and one more on my background. If you have the background, it doesn't have to be the blueberry. Maybe you have something else. Don't forget to add in the shadow right under. Alright, same thing on the right hand side corner. This cup, the opening inside, we do have the shadow inside too. So dark, medium, light. Alright, and same thing, remember, on the side of the cup, not too much, just a little bit. For right and left, they both need to have the shadow. That's the cylinder. So make sure there's no scribbling. Alright, and the handle, right under the handles. Inside the handles, there's a shadow as well because there's no light to hit inside. Alright, so that's about the shadow. So take your time to finish the shadow colors, and we will move on to do the colors after 30 seconds. Alright, when you're done with the shadow, you can choose any color. You don't have to do the same color or the same pattern for the plates. But I want you to try to color with 2 different color scales. Alright, let me find my colors. First of all, let me zoom in. You can do dark, medium, light, just like we are doing the shadow. The color volume, using one single color to create different color tones. Alright, and the other one, you have to join the other color, the second color. That's the color blending. We're using 2 colors and join them together. Alright, use 2 color volume to join. That's a color blending. Alright, so for this class, you must to use color volume or color blending. No one using the solid color. Alright, so try to use the color volume or color blending all the time, even they are very small and tiny. Alright, so try your best. Now you can start to do the colors. Okay, so try to add the shadow as much as you could. Alright, and you can add in any design. If you want to do the pattern, if you want to write the wording, feel free to do so. Alright, so now take your time to complete the word. Okay, so when you are free at home, you can grab anything that you want to do. Okay, it doesn't have to be a mug, it could be a pencil case. Alright, try to do the light sketch as much as you could. Alright, we start with the layout, how big on the papers, then we do the shapes, and we add in the detail. Alright, so that's how you practice the light sketch. So when you're done the drawing, finish the color, you can sign the names and write down the dates. Then we're done for the class for today.